Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chapter 2 Club's Smart Woman's Guide to Breakups and Everything After. Today, I'm here with certified divorce coach Alicia Robertson of Lemonade Life, and we're here to talk about tips on co-parenting around the holiday season. Hi, Alicia.
Hello, Melanie. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so wonderful. I'm so happy to be here.
Happy to have you. So, the holidays are coming up, and people that have kids that are separated or divorced have to deal with co-parenting. And
Yes.
co-parenting is hard enough as, alone, and then in and of itself, and then now with the holidays, a lot more challenges come up. So, give us some tips out there on co-parenting around the holidays.
Yep. Co-parenting, as is with all things divorce, an incredible amount of compromise and negotiation. And so I really feel like there's a really easy way to accomplish this. So we
Okay.
can have anything, but we can't have everything. And so
Yep.
I find with co-parenting, it's always about being very clear with all of the top priorities, 1 to 3 top priorities. So, and then being able to, in a very transparent and inclusive way, involve all of the key players, the children, your former partner, and yourself. So
Okay.
for me, it's about, anticipating what's coming up. So what are the family rituals and traditions that are going to need to look a little bit differently
Okay.
as you co-parent through it? And
Right.
then an awareness for how you feel, what it is that you're feeling and what it is that you want out of these new traditions. What are the things that really matter to you out of what you have traditionally done or what you could see as an opportunity in the future? And again, these are like 1 to 3 priorities, right? And getting curious. And this is where that transparency and inclusion is. So having a conversation with your former partner, if you can, what are his top priorities? What are his needs that he sees out of this, time of year? And then with the children, you'd be really surprised. We run our butts off doing all these things for the kids through the holidays to make it special, when in actual fact, they might only value 1 or 2 very easy traditions that you can
Right.
make happen for them or keep the same, right?
Yeah.
And so it just opens this dialogue. And I also really recommend that we're clear about how we're approaching this. So as co-parents, in my situation, we set the goals and we set the plan. We include the kids, but ultimately we're the decision makers. And so then we have an opportunity to come up with a plan. And when you have a plan, it reduces anxiety. Then you
Yeah.
have an opportunity to not only be on the same page as a family, as co-parents, you reduce anxiety for all the players, but then you can also very clearly communicate it to all the stakeholders involved, because there are extended family and friends that are going to want to be knowing what you're doing and where you're going and what the expectations are. So again, just having, and year over year, you will revisit this as the kids' ages and stages evolve, as your needs evolve, new partners come into the mix, different, scenarios like that. This will be a great framework to continually revisit and work through.
Yeah, I feel like as the kids get older, they can have a bigger say in what they want to do. Like my kids are teenagers, and I check in like what's important to you, and what would you like to do for this holiday season? Whose house do you want to be at? If you don't have like that strict custody schedule, for example, for me personally, it's like Christmas Eve is usually at their dad's and Christmas Day is usually with me. But as far as where they stay Christmas Eve night and where they wake up, it's kind of, whatever they want to do. So,
Yeah, totally. And mine that are 10 and 5, still very important that Christmas morning where they believe in, all the magic of Christmas and you want to see them, happening upon it. So
yeah,
and you're right. So then Christmas Eve becomes that, where are the kids waking up and how do we flow through that?
yeah,
And even in that, Chris, that piece was so important for both of us. So this is where that extreme negotiation and compromise. And I remember feeling so just activated about working through that negotiation in
yeah,
terms of feeling like I was going to miss out on Christmas
right,
morning.
right,
But you know what? And that also is a belief system that we have, is that, reframing it, Christmas morning can happen any day, right? Traditionally, we put these rituals and these times on specific days and hours, but really we can make them any day and time. What matters is that
yeah,
we're coming together.
right. And then there's also Hanukkah and other,
Yes.
other holidays. So the Hanukkah, then I guess there's 8 days of that. So then that's a, a longer negotiation.
Definitely. Maybe more opportunity to really share in the process where there's a little less pressure of just one morning.
Yeah. I feel like co-parenting, as I said, it's hard enough, in and of itself, and then having to deal with holiday seasons and other events, life events that happen that are important, is really challenging. But I think if you really focus on, the kids, what their needs are, kind of mapping out, what you want, hearing your ex what they want, and kind of coming together, making a plan that makes everyone happy is one of the better solutions. So
Yeah, and every time I've done this exercise, you might not get your all three top
sure,
priorities, but
sure.
really when you have this open conversation,
Yeah,
usually everybody's top priority is met.
yeah.
So that's pretty cool, right? That's real progress.
Yeah, I like that. The top three, like what are my top three? What are his top three? What are the kids' top three? And then kind of coming to a compromise, and at least everyone gets something that they want. So
That's right. And it really helps to keep the emotions out of the conversation, right? It's really just a strategic play on how we're going to plan for the season.
which
In
is easier
that,
said than done.
yeah, yeah, right?
I guess it depends on which stage you are in your divorce, right? I mean, I think in the beginning, if it's new and fresh, the emotions, it's so hard to take the emotions out of it when you're just kind of in that new raw space.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's when this matters the most. Like
yeah,
this practice was a practice, and I stuck to it so closely in the very beginning because it was so emotional. So I
yeah,
just kept coming back to what are my top three priorities? Because every time I'd be activated and I'd go off, right?
right,
And I'd want to react and I'd want to blow up the plan and just dig
right.
my heels in. And no, wait a second. Those things were not on my list.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are nice to haves, and
yes,
those suck that I'm not getting them, but it wasn't on my list.
right.
What's my top priority?
Yeah, we have to constantly remind ourselves to just like stop and redirect ourselves, right? From going off into these, bad downward spirals. So yeah,
Yeah, and I
so
don't know about you, Melanie, but I feel like a trap. And there was a newspaper article that was going into this where once we become separated in divorce, it's almost like we feel like we need to compromise less than we did in our marriages. I
right.
mean, traditionally, if you think about the seasons or any time that involves extended family and like such busyness and chaos and expectations on everybody's side, there was always some compromise or a lot of compromise that was happening, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So it really isn't normal, but it's how we perceive it. So
exactly. Yes. Great. Well, thank you so much. These are
yeah.
great tips. I find them very useful for myself, and I hope our audience out there also finds them useful. And you can find out more resources on our website at chapter2club.com. And Alicia, thank you so much for being here. And
Thank
we'll
you.
see you all next time. Bye.